Okay, in this short little video, we're going to show you how to remove and replace your M2000 filter and filter head with the new style XO5515 filter and filter head along with the bracket. The first thing you're going to want to do is make sure you have a few things. You might want to put a towel down like I have here just to keep things dry because you probably will have a little water come out, and this just saves it getting in the bottom of the cabinet and you have to dry it up. And the things you'll need is either a bucket, or in this case, I'm using a bowl, just because we're in tight quarters here under the sink. You'll need your new XO5515 filter, filter head, and the filter head bracket. It may come pre-assembled like this. I'm going to take it apart just because you may find it like this with everything taken apart, in which case I want to show you how to put it back together. Be good to have a Sharpie, a Phillips head screwdriver, and either a pair of scissors or cutters like these will work, either one. We're going to do this the quick and easy way just for the purposes of the video, so if I go too fast and you want to watch again, of course you can. First thing we're going to want to do is turn the water off at where it's connected to the supply line, which in this case is right here. This is a quarter turn valve. That handle just turns 1/4 turn until it's crossways of the tube, and that is in the off position. In the case you don't have that valve and you just have a T there, you can also turn it off with this main valve here by turning that clockwise until it stops, and that will shut the water off as well. All right, and we're going to reposition here. I apologize. Okay, so starting from scratch, we have the water turned off. Put our bowl back into the sink here. First thing we want to do is get rid of this old filter and filter head. So we're going to untwist this filter, quarter turn to the left, it'll pop right out. I'm going to put that old filter up here in the sink. Now we're left with just the filter head and the bracket attached to the wall. We're going to take our screwdriver and take these 3 screws out. You may have either 2 or 3. In this case, we have 3. Screw number 1. And you'll want to keep these 2 second screws for sure. We're going to need those. You may have had new screws that came with your new filter head and so forth. You can feel free to use those, but in this case, I'm just going to reuse these. All right, disconnect that. Now we've got that loose from the wall. And you can do one of 2 things. You can either take your cutters and just cut these 2 tubes. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to shorten my tubes. So to release these from the fittings, take this ring, push it in, and push in on the tubing, and then pull, and it'll come right out. Otherwise, you can cut them. Either way is fine. But again, take this tube, push in on it, hold that ring in against the fitting, and while you're pushing in, then hold the ring against the fitting and pull the tube out. It comes right out. Get rid of that old filter head, and now we're going to take our line that was on the left here that goes to the water source. We're going to connect it to the new filter head. You'll notice there's an arrow on here that points to the right, depending on how you're holding the filter, but you'll want to hold it this way, so that's to the right. That means this is water in, this is water out. So coming from the water source, water in goes over here. Push it in nice and hard and tight, twist it back and forth, give it a tug, make sure it won't pull back out. And we're going to set that aside for 1 second. Now we're going to go ahead and take our new filter head bracket. And because we have these 2 holes here, handy dandy, we're just going to use these 2 holes, because you'll notice they line up perfectly. Now you may find that you need to drill new holes, maybe not. If you do, just so you know, if you're going to use the 2 middle holes, you'll want to install it this way so that you can put the screws in part of the way, hang it, and then tighten the screws up. But because we've got these 2 existing holes, and you probably do too from your old filter head, we're going to do it just like this. Make it nice and easy and quick. We don't have to drill. All we got to do is put our screws in and tighten them up. Number 1. number 2. Super duper easy. All right, now you notice I didn't connect the water outline yet, because what I want to do is, at this point, I'm going to go back over here to the shutoff valve, and I'm going to turn that on. And in a perfect world, your new filter head has a valve in it that has the water turned off until you install this filter. So I'm going to take this bowl and put it right here. Take the new filter, and you'll notice on one side of the top there are 2 notches there, and you have 1 notch here on this side, and up inside of the filter head you have 2 little tips sticking out and 1 little tip here. You line those up and push that filter straight up and in, hold it over your bowl. Now when you turn this a quarter turn to the right, water is going to start coming out. So what you're doing now is flushing the filter. Now this filter has been used already, so you don't see gray water, but you will when you put your new filter in. You'll want to run that about 30 seconds or so, maybe a minute, until you'll notice that the water is running nice and clear, and then just turn that back a quarter turn back to the left, and you notice water stops coming out. And we're going to move this over here out of the way. We're going to take our line going to the water cooler and put it in the water outside on the right. Push it all the way in, twist it back and forth, give it a tug, it won't come back out. Now we can twist that a quarter turn to the right, and the water is on. And we're going to take this filter head and snap it into the bracket we just installed, like so. And you're done. You have changed your old M2000 filter head and now are using your new XO5515 filter and filter head. Super simple. You'll want to double check for leaks at all your connections to make sure everything's dry. Make sure that everything's good and dry under there, which is another reason why I put a towel down here. And of course you'll want to take your marker and write today's date right here. You notice I've already done that for the purposes of speed. And that's it. If you got no problems with leaks here, you're all good. If you do maybe have a little leak, just try pushing it in a little farther. If it still leaks, then disconnect those 2 tubes and maybe cut an inch or 2 off of each of those lines and then push them back in. Because if the lines are scarred up, it can cause a leak. But almost all cases, you'll be good at this point. Water's on, new filter's in, that's it. All right, good luck. We know you can do this.